TV, Mr. Top Flight Films. What's going on with the people, man? How's everybody doing out there? Listen, today's topic is nobody cared about DC until this last week when Trump sent the feds in. Big shout out to the residents of DC. I want to break this down because the hypocrisy that I'm seeing, people using this new move that Trump presented, they're using it. Once again, we're being used. I am not a DC resident. I live in Maryland. I live in Mountain, Maryland. But I'm peeping game. I'm watching what's going on, and I've been conflicted all week about how I feel about the feds going into DC. I've been conflicted. I've been a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side. But as time goes on, I'm starting to see very clearly now. Nobody cared. Let me not say nobody. These democratic people that are putting up all kind of statistics about the crime rate being down, they didn't care about DC last week. They didn't care about the crime in Chicago last week. They didn't care about the crime in Memphis last week. Once again, these democratic people, and when I say democratic, I mean the people who are democratic leaning, the people who are mad at Donald Trump. This is who I'm talking about. They didn't give a shit about the babies getting unalived in these major cities. They didn't give a shit about the teenagers getting life in prison. They didn't care about them last week. All of a sudden, everybody wants to talk about the nation's capital. And I find it extremely hypocritical. And I'm up here going back and forth with some people on my social media. And the guy I'm going back and forth with, I have never seen him post anything about the youth in these cities. I have never seen him advocate, give a good word, send a good message to the youth in these cities. I've never seen it. But all of a sudden, now that Trump has occupied DC, everybody cares about DC so much. And I call bullshit. You don't care about DC. You don't care about these young black youth out here unaliving each other. You don't care about the crime in these major cities. You don't. Because you had 4 years. Y'all had 4 years when Biden was in office. Y'all didn't say jack shit. Y'all didn't say nothing about the crime in these cities. Y'all were content. You all were happy. You all didn't say a word. Y'all were full, like you ate a full meal. Biden and Kamala were in office. It was a big utopia. Everybody was happy. There was no injustice. There was no injustice. But now the big bad Trump is back, and he's putting belt to ass, and he's making people feel real uncomfortable, and I love it, because now everybody's goddamn woke. Everybody is woke. Y'all was asleep for 4 years while Joe Biden was in office. You didn't care about Chicago. You didn't advocate for Memphis. You didn't advocate for Philadelphia. You didn't advocate for Washington, D.C. But now that Trump said, you know what, we're going to do something. We're going to occupy this thing because it's getting out of control, whether it is or it ain't. If the murder rate is down, if there were 300 murders last year, and it's down 23%, that means it's still around 600, it's still around 150 murders. That's still not good. Y'all's logic is crazy. The logic that's going on here is crazy, man. The Democrats didn't care about cleaning up crime in these cities. They cared about flooding America with immigrants. They did not care about Memphis, Atlanta, DC, Baltimore, Philly. They didn't care about the young black youth that were throwing their life away or getting unalived or the toddlers that were catching stray bullets, they didn't care about that. They only thing they cared about was this weird ass agenda. They cared about flooding the United States with immigrants. They cared about men playing in women's sports. They cared about a bunch of bullshit. You dig? Incognito. Michael said, you got a job? I have a business, Michael. Are you I bet you don't have a job. R. Will says Trump doesn't either. And I'm glad you said that because that's a valid point. But guess what? See, listen. Over here, this channel, right? We think a little different. We play chess, not checkers. Let's just say Trump didn't give a shit about the youth in DC. Let's say he didn't care about the youth in any of these cities. The whole point is, for this past week, no toddlers have caught stray bullets. He addressed it. At least he addressed it. So I don't care what's in his heart. Okay? I don't care what's in his heart. Just like with the immigration thing. With the immigration thing, he got a lot of the illegal, he's getting a lot of the illegal immigrants out of here. I don't care what his feelings are behind that. The fact is, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. You understand that? Sandman, what it do? R. Will said Trump is trying to cover his own ass. That may be possible. We don't know that for a fact. Let me give you my opinion. My opinion is Trump is hard on crime. I believe Trump is trying to clean up crime. That's what I believe. And yes, he's a hypocrite too, because he pardoned the January 6ers. But I believe that Trump wants to clean up the crime in these cities. You can't tell me no different. June Rummy said these dudes never lost a loved one. No, they haven't. Let me tell you something. I shoot videos, right? And you know how many artists I done seen unalived in the past 5 years? Every time I scroll down Instagram, it's another unaliving. Kids. Another young brother that threw his damn life away and is in the prison for the rest of his life. These people don't care. These people don't care nothing about that. These people don't understand. They up here posting statistics. Oh, the crime rate is down. Why are you in there? Y'all don't really understand what's going on. Y'all don't understand. It's kids running around with Glock switches. You dig? I don't want to talk to none of these office sitting Negroes about this topic. I don't want to talk to y'all. Y'all not in touch with what's really going on. You dig? So regardless whether Trump, let me say this. Forgive me, I'm a little hyped. I'm a little hyped today. Let me calm down. I'm gonna bring it down a couple notches. Regardless if Donald Trump cares or not, doesn't care. My point is, when Biden was in office, they didn't do anything to address these major cities. It was a goddamn war zone. They were goddamn war zones. You understand? Nobody put resources out there. Nobody did jack shit to clean it up. They just sat around and let these young boys unalive each other. Mitch Jones, no offense, homie. No offense. I'm just saying, it's a lot of cats that don't know what's going on trying to tell me what's going on. Puppet Forces, what's up? What's up from Chicago? Chicago's in the building. James Robinson said, in the UK, the migrants grape and take pictures of schoolgirls while we put them in hotels with tax. Come on, man. And it's going on here too. It's going on here too. So I don't want to hear nothing from these Democrats, these raccoon type cats that are just mad at Trump. These dudes were not speaking up for the young black youth in these cities until Trump decided to occupy DC. They could care less. They were worried about bullshit. Ricky Oliver said, y'all hit the like button for me. Ricky Oliver said, personally, I think I just need to quit with all the violence and just try to live together. We're all stuck in the stars as is show the love we can. It's not that easy, man. It's not that easy. Again, I don't think flooding the streets with the feds is a solution. I think it's a start. I think it's a start, dog. Let me tell you this. Apparently, these cities aren't doing their job because the feds had to come in like somebody's father. You know your father walk into the school? You know how your father walk into the school and you straighten up? That's what's going on. Trump sent the goddamn feds into the city and niggas straightened up. Of course, you got some knuckleheads out there with their phone trying to antagonize the feds. Not moving strategically, not moving smart at all. But for the most part, everybody got some act right. Adrian Garcia said, stop living off government assistance. I know with a name like Garcia, you're not telling me that I'm living on assistance. I'm a homeowner, number one, Garcia. A lot of your people are living on assistance. A lot of your people are coming over here undocumented, living off our tax money. A lot of, what are you talking about? Garcia, stay right there. Adrian Garcia, I know you're not talking to me, a foundational black American, whose family made it possible for you to come over here. I know you're not telling me to stop living on assistance. When your family comes over here, they get all the assistance. Nobody else can get them because they get it all. The nerve, and that's why we don't give a fuck if y'all get deported. That's why I don't care if you get deported. This is the exact reason why I don't give a fuck if you get deported. I'm glad they getting you up out of here. Bye-bye. Because y'all come over here and say dumb shit like this. You dig? Puppet Forces said, all my homies voted for Trump. Homeboy isn't playing, he gonna make us strong. I'm not mad at that comment, homie. I'm not buying the conspiracy theories. Oh, shit. I'm not buying the conspiracy theories. You dig? James Robinson said, what's your business? I'm a videographer, bro. I'm a videographer. Elite Chronicle said FBA versus everybody. Absolutely, man. Fuck them. Puppet Forza says Garcia, don't start that. Yeah, do you see Garcia? MA said build a wall, call ICE on Garcia. Hey, you know what though? I thought about joining ICE the other day. I ain't gonna hold you. I saw that $50,000. I saw that $50,000 sign-on bonus. I'm like, man, me join ICE, bro. Because look at this. He's a prime example of why we not fucking with y'all like that. Prime example. Christopher Robinson said, assistance. You can tell this Garcia cat is in the Matrix. It's a known fact. More Caucasians get assistance than any demographic. Absolutely. And guess who's a part of that? The Caucasian banner. Most Latins, most Hispanics come over here, classify themselves as what? Caucasians. Nah, Puppet Forces, I didn't. I thought about it. That's how much I don't give a fuck that they getting deported. You dig? I can care less. South Lake's own says, hey, yo, my name is Trayvon LaCurtis, and I just wanted to ask you a question. Why come the sneakers ain't free? I don't know what that means, homie. Dolores Bright says, my mother begged me to come home and don't move out until all this BS is cleared up. It's sad how your own siblings will try to F you every which way but loose. Puppet Forces says, we Americans, our country or no country, Americans first on bro. I'm right there with you, foundational black Americans, absolutely. James Robinson said, what's your thoughts on Trump going after the Mexican cartel? And I'm glad you said that, bro, because that's why I believe. That's why I'm not believing that this is all racial. Yeah, of course, Trump has white supremacist ideology. We know this. But I don't believe this is an attack on black people. I believe he wants to fight crime. Hence, my brother's question. My brother asked, what do you think about Trump moving in on the cartel? I think it's a great thing. All of these other politicians was helping them get the shit into the goddamn country. Where does it go when it gets here? It goes into our communities. And then what do? They point the finger at us and say, well, why are y'all killing each other? Why are y'all selling dope? Because your fucking forefathers brought it here. That's why. Rowdy Barber said, hello, fellow black man. How are you doing? Shout out to you, Rowdy Barber. How you doing? Y'all hit the like button for me when you come in here. TMB said, what do you think of most politicians putting Israel before U.S.? Now, I want to say this. You know, over here at this channel, if I don't know a lot about a topic, I won't really dive into it. From what I'm hearing, yes, Israel controls the United States. That's from what I'm hearing. I haven't done my research. I don't believe anybody can find the true answer to that. I don't know. I don't like to talk about things I don't know about. But it's starting to look like Israel has a strong influence on America. Cake Man says, Trump wants to fight crime. LOL. Did IQ just drop by 40 points? What? I don't understand. What happened? R. Will said, I wonder if Trump would do the same in Louisiana leader crime. Terrell V said, Trump is the only president who has a large population of racists who support him, along with the other supporters. I'm not Republican or Democrat, but majority of Trump supporters, I can't take them seriously. Let me say this to you, brother, and I don't want you to be fooled. Let me say this to you. Let me educate you on this. The Democratic agenda was way more racist than the Republican agenda. I'm not a Republican. I did not vote for Trump. I did not vote Democrat. But if you really stop and think about this, a lot of the stuff that Trump is doing, it helps the black community. Number one, the immigration. It frees up resources for foundational black Americans to receive them instead of a whole bunch of immigrants flooding over here, getting the resources that are owed to us. Number two, things like DC, occupying the streets of DC so crime goes down. I want y'all to get into the mind of a 8-year-old boy or girl that lives in Southeast Washington. Get into the mind of an 8-year-old girl or boy that lives in one of these cities that's scared every night, that hears gunshots, that has seen people shot. I want you to get into their mind how peacefully they can rest this week. Is anybody getting into the mind of the kids that are scared out there? Is anybody getting into the mind of the kids that are happy to see their streets safer for the past 24 to 72 hours? Oh yeah, hey, Elite Chronicle says facts. Tethers, illegals, and crime is affecting the FBA community the most. Man, listen, a lot of the crime that you see that's passed off for black on black crime are immigrants. A lot of the crime you see in these cities are immigrants. Haitian, shout out to everybody, but I'm just being real. Haitians, Caribbeans, Jamaicans, a lot of the gangs, what's the gang up there in Minnesota? Who is that? Not Egyptians, the Somalian gangs. Y'all go Google the Somalian gangs in Minnesota. That's gonna get passed off as black on black crime. Killer Dwayne said, bro, Philly is crazy too. These kids are dying before their life even starts. Come on, man. Thank you for your comment, brother. These Democrats didn't give a shit about that. I'm not saying the Republicans do, but the Democrats didn't do nothing about it. They didn't do nothing about it. They cared more about immigrants than they cared about their own people here in America. They cared more about sending trillions of dollars, billions of dollars over to Ukraine. They cared about Ukraine more than they cared about Philadelphia. Laquan Moore said, but the Somalians think they white. That's a fact. A lot of Somalians, they might be darker than me, but they'll classify themselves as Caucasian. But the thing is, when they come up on the news, and they mugshot is on the news for somebody just sprayed up a neighborhood, guess what the general public is going to say? They're going to say, oh, that's more black on black crime. Saladair 1983 said, those Somali gangs took my nephew's life, so I don't give a F what happens to them. We got a testimony right there. We got a testimony right there. You dig? A lot. Look, think about it. Think about this. The Shower Posse. That's not a foundational black American gang. That's a Jamaican gang. Think about that. My homies. I fuck with my homies real heavy. I got a lot of homies in GS9. Bobby Schmurder. I know Schmurder. You dig? They're Jamaican. Okay. A lot of the Bloods are Belizean. The Zoes down in Miami, Haitian. You understand? Back in the day, you wouldn't really catch black Americans spraying up a whole neighborhood. The Shower Posse comes in. Shower, because they shower shit with bullets. It was a different type of violence that black Americans really didn't get down like that. To come in somewhere and shower a whole restaurant or neighborhood, that shit that was done over in them third world countries. A lot of the crime you see now is shit that was going on in them third world countries. Cake Man says, someone makes propaganda and you all lick the spoon. Well, be specific. What did I lie about? Terrell V said, it always starts first with the community. I agree. I hold the community accountable. I hold the OGs accountable, because the reality is, when they send the feds to Chicago, when they send the feds to Philly, when they send the feds to Memphis, it is on the local law enforcement, and it is also on the OGs of these neighborhoods. Do you understand? It is going to be their responsibility, because they were not holding it down. They were not orchestrating. They were not putting things in place. And don't get me wrong, I know it's not an easy task, because these young boys is wild. They ain't not trying hard. Shout out to Detroit. You got organizations like New Era Detroit. Now, I got all the respect in the world for New Era Detroit. This is a group that has been putting in work for a lot of years. And they've been very vocal and visual with the work that they're doing in the community, holding the community accountable. These other cities, you don't really see organizations like that. Marvel says, the family has been under attack. This is by design. HU Grad 95 said, we just never had it on the East Coast. HU, you went to Howard University? HU said we had gangs in the U.S. since the 80s. Yes, absolutely. But again, I don't know if you know, talking about the comment I made about the Shower Posse. Yeah, the gangs were vicious, but they weren't as vicious as a lot of these immigrant gangs. Okay? Oh, you went to Hampton. Okay. Adam Zimmerman said, to go to your own community or another community and do any harm to anyone is insane and counterproductive. Joseph Magda says, good afternoon, big homie. Shout out to you, homie. Good afternoon to everybody that's in here. Y'all hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you like the content. The hypocrisy. Everybody I'm talking to is putting up statistics about the murder rate and the crime rate in DC. And the reality is, and I'm gonna say it again because a lot of y'all just came in the room, a lot of these people didn't care. They weren't talking about the youth in these inner cities until this week. They didn't care about Washington, DC until this week. You dig? Trump bad. It's all about Trump bad. Trump, 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 Trump. Trump can do anything, and that will be their main focal point. Terrell V said a lot of black African descendants don't understand African Americans, but they was never the minority in their country. Had Jim Crow slavery and didn't have their history robbed from them. Yeah, but the thing is, bro, we don't even go by African American no more. We're foundational American. You dig? We don't even do the African American thing no more. We're the foundation of this country, and we know our history. And the reality is, Professor James Small said, Black Americans, most Black Americans know more of their history than Africans. We could trace our history back further than some Africans. Puppet Forces said Trump is making us money. Let me say, hey Puppet, let me tell you something. I don't know what it is. Those 4 years under Biden, my business was slow. It was so slow, dog. It was depressing. I don't know what happened, but January 1st, 2025, I haven't had a slow week since. Soon as Biden got up out of here, shit changed. And I'm not saying it's Trump. Maybe it's a coincidence. I'm just telling you my experience. You don't have to believe it. Yeah, we're foundational Black Americans, dog. We came here when there was no America. We built it. Not many people can say that. Even some Caucasian people can't say that. A lot of Caucasian people, their family got over here in 1910, 1920, Ellis Island. Our ancestors, we were here when it wasn't even called America. You dig? Wildlife said, I don't think speaking on this topic without mentioning Black Americans bullying and humiliating immigrants and how it could have contributed to immigrants forming. All right, listen, man, let's address that. Now, let me say this to you. I'm a Black American, a foundational Black American. I remember when immigrants came to my school, the first time I met a real African. And let me say this, bullying, no. Did we make fun of? Yes. In Black American culture, we make fun of each other. It's called joning, roasting. This is what we do. Everybody gets it. Nobody is exempt because you came from Africa. You're gonna get joned on. When you show up with some gear that is not official, we gonna talk about your gear. People roast me. This is what we do. They say, hey, what's up, your big ass head? Shut your big head ass up. You dig? So just because, see, y'all being sensitive, oh, they humiliated us. No, everybody in the culture gets humiliated. That's why you gotta learn how to snap back. See, a lot of the immigrants didn't know how to snap back, but that was a form of acceptance into the culture. That was a form of us accepting them. We never looked at them as outsiders. We just looked at them as our brother or sister that just dresses a little weird and can't talk good English. You dig? Yeah, man. Come on, man. So you got Black Americans that been called African booty scratchers. Big deal. Get over it. Niggas be 40 years old talking about, oh, this nigga called me a African booty scratcher when I was 6 years old. Man, so what? I got called an African booty scratcher. So what, man? Pleasure, my pink said, why you FBAs sound so angry? Nobody's angry. Don't confuse compassion or conviction with anger, okay? Nobody's angry. I'm the happiest motherfucker in my neighborhood, man. Trust me. My whole family, everybody knows how happy I am. Mike said, especially in DC metro area, that's how it goes down. A lot of immigrants in the DMV. You go to the DMV, dog, it is a multicultural area. You got Ethiopians, you got Mexicans, you got everything. You dig? It's like a small New York. Axe Black says Google prices when Biden was in office, them shits was lower. I don't care about that. They were not lower. That last 2 years, are you serious? That last 2 years when Biden was in office, everything was expensive. It was depressing, dog. Juanita Crenshaw said crime down for the last 4 years. Waste of money for military to be there. Sad and embarrassing to the nation. Distraction. No, 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 no. Sweetheart, I don't know where you get your statistics from. Crime has not been down for 4 years. It just dropped down 23% in the last 6 months or so. It hasn't been no 4 years. It was a goddamn war zone last year. What are you talking about? Respectfully, I'm not trying, I ain't trying, be disrespectful. Y'all know somebody was unalive 2 nights ago while the feds was out there? A chick, not unalive, but shot. A chick got shot 2 nights ago while the feds was out there. Somebody just got hit last night. Mike said it's a mixing bowl. Yeah, to say the least. Timothy says, sup Slim, we out here in Kenya. Shout out to Kenya. James Murrow said, how much is a bushel of crabs at the wharf actually? I used to live in Alexandria. I don't know. I know my brother and them just got crabs from the wharf over the summer. I think it was like, I forgot how much it was, to be honest with you. Britt said, you got a new sub from me. I love it when people speak level-headed, and I found it here. Y'all are talking, not arguing. Hey, shout out to you, Britt. Terrell V said, Nigerians has the easiest adjustment to American compared to other Africans. Shout out to you, Puppet, man. I appreciate it. Y'all hit that like button. Chris H, what it do? Oh, yeah, one said, why was she not at home? Look. I've been asking the same question. And this is the answer that I came up with. I've been watching this thing very thoroughly. I follow violence interrupters in DC. We follow each other. All the major violence interrupters I'm tapped in with. So I'm watching their pages. I'm watching pages, all the DMV pages, and I'm seeing a lot of these neighborhoods, you got the young boys sitting out there waiting to interact with these feds. I can identify, because when I was 20, 22, 21, I would have did the same thing. I would have been outside waiting to see the show, waiting to be a part of the show. But the thing is, people need to take their ass in the house. You dig? Geeksa 973, shout out to you, man. You love money, you love evil, and be a slave of. Shit's getting cleaned as we speak. Crip Blue said, take that hat off. Oh, you're a gangbanger. The gangbangers done pulled up, y'all. Grand Deuce 99, shout out to you, homie. Fat Boy Bang said, man, I live in Detroit, so I see everything. So I see the truth. The host Heist is speaking. Shout out to you, homie. Liam G said, bless up, bless up. Yeah, let me tell you, man, a lot of our people are in denial. A lot of our people are in denial. A lot of our people aren't outside. They're not outside. They're not in tune with the culture. I'm an old nigga, but I shoot videos for these young boys. So I'm very tuned in and tapped in. I pull up to these video shoots, and it's Glocks, it's Dracos, you dig? And they not afraid to use them. I'm very tapped into what's going on. A lot of these older cats, my age and up, they don't know what's going on out here. And I want to see the youngins succeed, man. You understand? What's up, homie? How you doing? Yeah, videos. I shoot videos, my man. So what? What's funny about that? What do you do? What do you do, sir? Puppets in the building. Shout out to the puppets. Shout out to Uptown Chirac. Michael said I own a clean. Okay, so should I laugh that you clean people's toilets? I don't understand what's so funny. Why would you laugh because I shoot videos? Listen, let's make a deal. I won't make fun of you cleaning people's toilets if you don't make fun of me shooting videos. How about that? Shout out to the UK, Steve Howard, what it do? Cake Man said being a gang member versus being a hardened military vet. There's a huge difference about what's going on in reality. Oh, Michael said he doesn't clean anything. He has employees. Well, shout out to you, Michael. Much success to your cleaning business. But I still don't see what's so damn funny about me being a videographer. I'm a videographer. I shoot videos, I shoot concerts, I shoot commercials. You dig? Michael Miles said, for the record, them type videos of artists be trash. If you want them to succeed, tell them the guns are played out and the real music is coming back. Let me address that because you're 100% correct. Look, I don't run from nothing, Mike. Listen, I know I'm complicit in a lot of the degeneracy. When I gotta shoot a video of ignorance, when I shoot a video of a 19-year-old talking about killing and drilling, I am complicit. But get this. When we follow each other and they watch how I live and they watch what I'm about, I don't try to act like them. I don't co-sign what they do. I let them know without preaching to them what I'm about and what life is about. So the thing is, I've been criticized for that since I started. But check this out. They'll listen to me before they listen to you. You dig? They'll listen to me, they'll watch me. I've influenced all kind of youngins to get their life together. I ain't had to say a word. I didn't have to say a word. You dig? Tremaine Washington, I appreciate you. At the same time, people are allowed to do whatever music they want to do. You understand? If one of these rappers go to 7-Eleven, is 7-Eleven responsible for contributing as well? No. You dig? No, I ain't tripping out. It's all good, man. Look, I don't run from no questions. You dig? Everybody has a voice over here. It's all good. Michael Miles said the guns played out. I'm from West Oakland, California, and that music is born. I agree. Don't get me wrong. I love a good drill music. I love free car music. I love the gangster shit. But I'm 44. My brain can decipher music from real life. When I was a kid, I couldn't do that. When I was a kid, I thought that Mobb Deep was really tough guys, okay? I thought that Spice One was really doing what he was saying. I'm older now. I can enjoy the music for what it is, but the youth, they're influenced by this music. Shout out to you, Puppet, man. I appreciate that, homie. Richard said, it's 10 a.m., G. Where's your damn shirt, my boy? I just got back from the gym, and I took a mile and a half walk around my neighborhood. This is my daily routine. You dig? I hit that gym. When I wake up, I do some editing. I hit that gym, and then I go for a long walk. Then I come back and I do a video. So it's hot out here, and I just got back. You dig? Chris H said, I grew up listening to the OG gangster rap. Yeah, we all did, man. And, I never set out to emulate what I heard, but subconsciously, imagine you 15 years old, you smoking your trees, you got your Walkman on, and all you hearing all day is sell that dope, unalive that N-word. It's gonna get into your system. So when something happens, when somebody approach you, your first reaction is gonna be what you heard. You dig? It's something that's gonna come out of you that's been subconsciously planted in your spirit. You dig? So yeah, We all went through it as kids. A lot of us were influenced by gangster rap as kids. You know what I'm saying? For me, really, it was the weed smoking. Every rapper always talked about what? Staying high, right? That's what every rapper always talked about. All we do is spark mad ism. You dig? Stay high. And what did I do? I thought I had to stay high. And I stayed high. You dig? Randolph, shout out to you, man. Puppet Forces says, unfortunately, me and the homies listen to drill, especially Zone 2, UK drill. Yeah, a lot of drill music I can rock with. Um, Again, I know the difference. You know what I'm saying? These young cats, especially where I'm at, I'm in Maryland, right? So a lot of these cats in these small towns, they try to emulate what they see from these big cities. And they try to, they got the 30, the 30 clip, they got this, that, and the third. And I seen a lot of them throw their life away too. And I even thought about quitting my profession. I seen so much tragedy. I take full payment the day of the shoot because I don't know what's going to happen to these rappers when I leave. You dig? I've shot videos and then the next day somebody's unalived. Or I shot a video the next day, somebody's locked up. You dig? Juanita Crenshaw said, I hate that you think your state is the only state going through something. It's about the American people. No. When did I ever say that, Juanita? Juanita, honey, when did you ever hear me say my state is the only state going through it? Early in the broadcast, I named Memphis, I named Philly, I named Baltimore, I named all kind of states. Michael said, my brother stays in Clinton, Maryland. That's what's up. Yeah, Clinton is about 2.5 hours from me. Ben Rocket said, learn real with age. Yeah, with age. Unfortunately, a lot of kids, a lot of the cats I grew up with, they did not make it to 44. They didn't make it out that phase, man. Let me tell you, black boys, we go through a phase. And unfortunately, it's the gangster thug phase. White kids, they'll go through a punk rock phase or a Nazi skinhead phase, right? Our phase is just different. They say boys will be boys. You dig? Chicks go through a whole phase. A lot of kids grow out of these phases. Unfortunately, some kids do not make it out of these phases. You dig? MA said Silver Spring. Shout out to Silver Spring, man. Amber Powell said, I will never understand why people are protesting their safety. I get overreach, but everyone in America deserves to live in a safe community. Hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at that statement. I agree. MA said, I'm sorry, Amber Powell said that. MA said, what about Asian kids? That's a great question. Let me tell you something. Asian kids, it depends on what part of the country you in. If you go over to LA in California, and if I got any California people in the building that can tell me if I'm lying, a lot of the Asian kids, they turn to gang culture. You dig? It's literally Asian gangs over there repping. I don't know if they wear blue or red, but it's Asian gangs over there. But that's the thing. Let me tell y'all something. The Asians and the Indians, there's a narrative that they are smarter than the rest of us Americans. Do y'all know this? It's no longer, oh, white people are smarter than black people. No. The Asians and Indians, they're taking over a lot of these tech positions. They are some of the brightest in the nation. You dig? Michael Milley said, I respect you get money. You play a big part in that war as well. My little partner shoot videos for the riffraffs out this way, and end up getting caught up by associating himself with just shooting videos. Well, listen, let me say this to you, brother. You're correct. You're correct, and I try to do my part in putting out a positive message. You know, despite every now and then shooting some of these videos. As time has went on, I don't do as much degenerate music as I used to. It was a point in time that every video shoot, everybody had guns. These Ricos with Young Thug and Lil Durk have kind of made that go away because people are kind of smartened up. But if I can, I've reached a lot of these kids in real life, and they have changed a lot of the way that they was moving. You did. So you're 100% right, man. I can't be mad at that. Michael Seves says they looking for groups of young black and brown men. Yeah, of course, what they are. What they doing is they going through the worst neighborhoods in DC. Okay, and everybody needs to go find some business. A lot of people just sitting out there in their lawn chairs. You got 40, 50-year-old dudes sitting out in the neighborhood with their lawn chairs, smoking, drinking, waiting to get picked up by the feds. At the very least, this is why I'm not mad at Trump. At the very least, it's gonna be some people that's gonna get their goddamn mind right to say, you know what, bro? I need to do something different. You dig? Listen, there is no growth in comfort. Yes, he overreached. I don't agree with that 100%. He is practicing lawlessness. I don't co-sign that. But at the same time, our ancestors, back in the day, when America was being lawless, they thrived through that discomfort. Y'all want to be comfortable and stagnant? When Joe Biden was in office, everybody was comfortable and stagnant. There was no growth. So at least with this shit, people could get some fire up under their ass and do something different. Cake Man says, so freedom means forced work or leave. No Country said, bro, do you realize how many white communities are doing the same thing we do? No. Let me tell you this, and I see where you're going, and I agree with you to an extent. I live in what I call Mountain Maryland. I live in the mountains of Maryland. This is a white ghetto. Let me say this to you. No Country, listen. I call this the white ghetto. There is poverty. These white folks live in poverty out here. I never understood it. I never seen nothing like this till I moved out here. But let me tell you the difference. You don't see no white gangs, no white groups of young white boys drilling. Show me the state. Show me the state. I'm talking about show me the state where young white bodies are dropping. Show me the state. And we gotta be real about this, though. I understand the concept of every race does crime. I agree. Every race does crime. Every race does crime. But you show me the white state where white boys are drilling like young black boys. Michael said North Carolina. What part of North Carolina? Is there I'm talking about equivalent to what's going on in our community. Yeah, see, now the thing is, the white community, they'll fall victim to drugs. They'll fall victim to the drugs, you dig? Listen, when Trump is done with the crime in the streets, he needs to go after the Caucasian epidemic of the chomos. Now, that's where they have an epidemic, is the chomos, all right? So I'm not taking responsibility away from anybody, but we can't act like it's young white boys out here with switches killing each other. That's just not the reality. Daniel Garrett said, I can't believe you said that. Yeah, he said what? Yeah, you go to any platform where they catch predators, and it's 99% white folks. Nobody really wants to talk about that though. They only want to focus on black crime. I don't agree with the propaganda that black people are making America so bad. I don't agree with that propaganda. When I speak, it's from a place of compassion, not condemnation. So when I'm talking about these cities, I want to see these cities do better. You understand? I want to see the culture move forward from switches and Dracos to something different. Because right now, I'm not going to say black culture, but hip hop, rap culture, urban culture is degenerate. Twerking, Don Julio, switches, Glocks, uh, 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 just bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry. I want to see us do better. Thank you, Marvina. I appreciate that. Daniel Gerd said, but don't sit there and pretend that white Chino billionaire is going to do something about it. Well, he already did something about it. The city's been safe for the past 72 hours. What do you mean? Something's already done about it. And somebody, I'm not saying that he cares. The whole point is more has been done this week about the crime in DC than all 4 years of Joe Biden. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Henson said black people love playing the victim. No, we're just the victim. Okay? I know you don't like it, and that's a go-to for a lot of y'all. Y'all come in here, I see it every day. Oh, stop being a victim. No, we are victims. We're victims of racism and white supremacy. That's what we are. You dig? What? It's history books to back this up. It's laws to back this up. Daniel Gerd said, you remind me of my brother. You're righteous, but also an idiot. Shelly Burke said, you're in D.C. No, I'm about 2 hours from D.C. I got to be in D.C. Saturday. I thought about going to get some footage from these feds. Puppet Forces says, I know you missed my comment. We do have white boys who are gangsters. They roll with their hood. They knew too. I think I'll spell it right or something. Them boys don't play, but are nice. Yeah, okay. So in Chicago, you saying it's some white gangs. But my whole point is the equivalent. The equivalent. See, we got the action, and we got a soundtrack with it, and we got images with it. We got a soundtrack for the genocide. There is no white culture that has a soundtrack that are drilling and killing each other on a daily basis. There is none. Now, yeah, maybe in Chicago it's one gang. You there? I'm not taking that away from you, brother. I believe you. I know white gang members. The DMI, Dead Man Incorporated. That's a prison gang. I know, but my hope they'll stab you before they shoot you. You know what I'm saying? They'll stab you. You dig? Amber Powell said, even if Trump don't care about them people, the results are what matters. Absolutely. Todd Rod said, Blackie. Puppet Forces said, look up. Richard Feldman said, stop being a victim. Richard, stop trying to cope, sir. Stop trying to cope. Just because you try to victim shame, that doesn't mean we're gonna stop talking about it. What's today? What's coming up recently? What's coming up soon? 9/11, right? So how about you stop talking about 9/11? How about that, sir? Because you're being a victim. Dang It said, dude, I've been to prison since I was young. You don't see me crying, blaming others. Well, listen, it's not blame. This is called American history. Nobody's blaming shit. If you want to be in denial or you don't want to look at it, You can practice racism, white supremacy. That is what racism and white supremacy is. To act like it never happened, to act like we're just complaining and we're being victims. So you have that right to be that. Richard Feldman said, get off Section 8. Shelly Burke said, I live in Maryland. Shout out to Shelly. Todd Rod said, black boy, black boy. Yes, I'm a foundational black boy. When did your family get to America, Todd Rod? When did your family, what are you, Italian? Are you from Ireland? I'm from America. I'm a foundational black American. You dig? And I know you don't like that. I know you mad at that. That's why we can't be deported, Todd. You hate the fact that we can't be deported. You hate that, don't you? You should embrace it, though. That's what you should be doing. You should say thank you to my ancestors for building this motherfucker. That's what you should do. Todd. Danny Ford from England, what up? Shelley Burke said, white America do not know their history. A lot of the races are ashamed of their history. That's why they come in here and try to shut me up. Every day they come in here trying to shut me up. Stop talking about yesteryear, dude. But let them talk. They can talk about George Washington and all his accomplishments. We're gonna start once they want to start putting up these Confederate statues and praising their forefathers and talking about all the good things their forefathers did. We're gonna tell them shut up, stop talking about yesterday. Okay? If y'all want to talk about the so-called good shit your forefathers did, we're gonna tell you about the bad shit your forefathers did. You dig? Smokey the Bear, shout out to you, man. Y'all hit the like button for me, man. Pedro's Montes, what it do? Jayla Hooper 24 said, what up, bro? Brown and Black Pride today. Shout out to you, homie. Cape Verde and Queen. Baltimore's in the building. What's going on, Baltimore? Danny Ford said, bless haters can hate. Just reminder, you're living rent-free in their head. Oh, we always rent-free in that head, dog. We live rent-free in these racists' head. They can't get us off their brain. They always talking about us. They always cherry-picking clips off the internet to post to act like we're just the worst thing ever. You dig? Oh, okay, you from Boston, all right. The move for the day, my brothers, to get some work done, go get dinner for my family, and enjoy the rest of my evening. You dig? Herman King, peace to you, brother. Abdul Jamal, shout out to you, Holmes. Cake Man said, if a highly trained, educated military intelligence officer is telling me that Trump is bad, who outranked everyone in his chat? I think I believe him. C-Mac, what it do, Holmes? Shelley Burke said George Washington was a moron too. Yeah, they all was morons. Dirty Dex, what it do, my brother? He said, don't you agree on what they are doing though? Yeah, I agree. I've been trying to go back and forth with it all week. I don't agree with the way he did it, but I'm not mad at the way he did it. At the end of the day, the Democrats haven't done shit about it. They just let all the brothers unalive each other. They haven't done nothing. So I'm not mad at what Trump did. You dig? Doc said a lot of people don't even know who their ancestors. Yeah, I know who my ancestors are. ABK said, dig into the history of slavery, black, brown, and white. No, I don't want to. I already did, sir. Don't try to compare anybody else's slavery to ours. You can't. It don't even come close. It don't even come close. Herman King, shout out to Brooklyn, man. Cyrus says the Native Americans want their land back, and you just keep talking about this crap like Trump is helping DC. Cyrus, what? That don't even make sense, man. You're not even making no sense in here, man. Jam said, yo, straight white men are the most hated in the world right now. That's a white supremacist fantasy that y'all live in. Y'all are not the most hated. Y'all are not oppressed. That's some bullshit that y'all made up. Nobody, absolutely nobody agrees with that. You dig? Come on, man. Come on, man. Eric Rhines, what it do? Nick Head, what up, Head? What's up, my boy? What's going on, player? How you been, man? Ramon said, why do black people follow Greek fraternities? I have no idea. I did not join a fraternity. I don't know nothing about that. I'm guessing because it like puts you in a certain group to where when you graduate college, you get to have more opportunity. It's like a network type of thing, I guess. I don't know. C-Mac says Trump needs to send them to Baltimore. Those numbers are rigged. Let me tell you, man, people been talking this shit about these numbers. I've been scrolling down Instagram and I see what's going on. Like, I'm confused. I'm like, what are these people talking about? I'm seeing toddlers unalived. I'm seeing all of the mob of kids down the Navy Yard. I'm seeing the carjackings. I'm like, what are they talking about? They putting up these statistics, but I'm seeing this shit in real time. Dirty Deck said, Kings, y'all need to educate yourselves. Yeah, a lot of these people, they got the education that they want. They only go with the narrative that's convenient for their group. You dig? Tosh says crime is not down at NYC. I don't care what the goofy crats say. Yeah, somehow crime is just down all over the place. Now let me say this. I believe crime is down. But if 400 people were killed last year and it's down 23%, that means somewhere around 300 people have been killed this year. That's not good. Okay. That's not a good sign. Like, what are we talking about, man? Mr. 420 to you says black victim. Nick Hubbard, love you, brother. Good to see you up in here, man. Rick Willow said, go back to Africa if you want to see people in Kenya. Listen, Rick, I'm not from Africa, sir. I'm a foundational black American. How about you go back to your homeland? Where are you from, sir? Rick Willow said, you would be there had it not been for slavery. Sir, you do not know where I would be. Where would you be? Where would you would be in Europe. You would be in Europe right now, in a goddamn cave. Rick Willow said, I'm not saying slavery was right, but you'll never succeed making excuses all your life. Who made an excuse? See, this is how intelligent you are, sir. Nobody on here made an excuse. Me telling American history is not making an excuse. Okay? I know you want us to be quiet about what went on and what still goes on. Y'all don't like when we talk like this, do you? You want us to talk like the Candace Owens and the Myron Gaines. Those are the black people you like, and they not even foundational black Americans. You like to hear from them, don't you? Well, guess what? They are hustling y'all. Okay, they're hustling y'all. They know how to get paid. Right now, all you got to do is be black and talk bad about black people, and then you can get $1 million. You can run a successful YouTube channel. Dirty Deck says, stay off the streets, get your money, protect your family. Don't put yourself in jail, self-snitch, or move off of most. Yeah, man, listen. Hopefully this is motivation. Somebody's going to be motivated to say, you know what, man, let me do something different with my time. Let me get my family up out of here. Let's go move to Maryland or something. Like, that should be the goal. Everybody should really aspire to do better instead of sitting comfortable just sitting around in a lawn chair out in the fucking projects. And I'm saying this not in condemnation, but in compassion, because I want to see the brothers and sisters do better. You dig? Fanbo Podcast says we all was not in slavery. They had some white. Oh shit, man! Please, man, don't start that dumb shit. R.S. Mays said he's putting everybody in D.C. jail. Well, let me tell you. Let's stop the propaganda. I'm watching these videos. I saw one video that's going viral in particular, and the officers just walked up and they talked real nicely to the brothers, and they actually schooled the brothers. They said, listen, the weed is illegal to smoke out front. You can't drink out here. I'm just trying to tell you, tell your homies, this is what's going on. He said Trump is not having it no more. This is not one of those ICE situations. People keep trying to compare this situation to the ICE situation. They saying shit like, well, we told y'all was next. No, we have rights as foundational Black Americans. And they know that. They know that. So a lot of these people live in public housing. So if you live in public housing, you only have but so much rights. You don't own your property. So they're doing what's within the law. You dig? Amber Powell said, you can't say only look at one part of history. It all matters. If you see the part you want to, it will twist the mind. Well, what part of history should I be looking at, Amber? When Dali says, how you doing, brother, out here in South Africa? The aim is to school us about the damn propaganda. Shout out to South Africa, man. Raul Juarez says, what you know about the OG founder, Took and Arnold, the ex-CIA agent? William Walker said, do you listen to The Angry Man? The Angry Man, I check him out every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? He got some good stuff. I see him on Instagram. Boss Mac Topsoil, that's an interesting name, says the YNs are hungry. They are aggressively trying to get their issue in all major metropolitan areas. That's a fact, homie. Like, I don't know what these niggas is talking about. I don't know what these statistic pulling college educated Negroes is talking about. Okay? I have no idea. Donovan Valentine said, I smoke anywhere I want. You can get your ass locked up too. You can get locked up. Amber Powell said all of it. The history of slavery and the fact that most whites did not own slaves and some blacks did. That slavery was a part of a class system that was then turned into a race issue. Yeah. But you gotta say it all, sweetheart. I want you to ask yourself, how long were black people enslaved? And then ask yourself, the white slaves that you were talking about, the Irish, how long were they enslaved? What happened when the Irish were let go from slavery? Who did the white slaves join when they were done being enslaved? Who? Who did the white slaves join when they were done being enslaved? And who did they start to enslave and oppress? Listen, we know the history over here. We know the history over here. Herman King said these 85ers do not know their history. TZ405 said 400 plus years. Mr. 420 to you said excuses to fail. Does it look like I'm failing, sir? Does it look like I'm failing? Do I look failed? Come on, man. Instead of throwing ad hominems when you hear me talk like this, how about you say something productive? It seems like you all's only comeback is to call people victims and tell them go back to Africa. And when are y'all gonna address and be accountable? Y'all always blaming the Jews. Come on, man. Amber Powell said, in America, at first it was indentured servants, including African slaves. It was divided. I'm not denying that, and people still allow it too. America is a small part of history. Listen, black people were never indentured servants. There's not a group over here that went through the slavery, the kind of slavery that we went through. The Irish were indentured servants. I hate when people try to compare their little 5 to 7 years to our hundreds of years. Not to mention the psychological slavery, the psychological tactics that were put into place for black people that we still see today. I really despise when people try to crowbar the Irish indentured servitude to a heinous, murderous, treasonous transatlantic slave trade that went on for several hundred years. And when we were let go with nothing. When the Irish were let go, they got stuff. They got guns and land and other stuff. Then they went on to oppress black people. Then they went on to join these fire companies and these police departments and continue to oppress black people. It's no comparison. You all were redeemed. You all got reparations. The Irish got reparations. They were redeemed and they were made whole. You understand? So it's no comparison. C-Mac says those slaved Irish were given the police departments. Okay. Yeah, bro. Come on, man. TZ405 said systematic slavery is still cracking till this day. Absolutely. Mr. 420 to you said, you're not oppressed today. What's the issue? Mark Johnson said, no comparison. It is no comparison, man. It's no comparison. But listen, y'all, I love y'all. I will be back probably tomorrow. I got to go get things done. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Y'all hit the like button before y'all leave. I appreciate y'all. C-Mac, Nick Head, Dirty Dex, all my people. Shout out to y'all, man. Hit the subscribe button. We out of here.